Try to get that nose wiggle in before recording. Okay, hi. We have a big hangout today, actually. We have to read What is the Holy Spirit? And then we will do lesson 281. I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. This is a good one. I'm back on, you guys. I'm back on. I took a 1,000,000-mile bike ride yesterday and I'm back on. Got back to gratitude. I'm back on. I'm late for work, but I'm back on. All right, so what is the Holy Spirit? Good question. The Holy Spirit mediates between illusions and the truth. Since he must bridge the gap between reality and dreams, perception leads to knowledge through the grace that God has given him to be his gift to everyone who turns to him for truth. Across the bridge that he provides are dreams all carried to the truth, to be dispelled before the light of knowledge. There are sights and sounds forever laid aside, and where they were perceived before, forgiveness has made possible perception's tranquil end. The goal of the Holy Spirit's teaching is just this end of dream. The goal the Holy Spirit's teaching sets is just this end of dreams. For sights and sounds must be translated from the witnesses of fear to those of love. And when this is entirely accomplished, learning has achieved the goal it has in truth. For learning, as the Holy Spirit guides it to the outcome he perceives for it, becomes the means to go beyond itself, to be replaced by the eternal truth. So learning, perception, that all ends with knowledge and truth. If you but knew how much your Father yearns to have you recognize your sinlessness, you would not let his voice appeal in vain, nor turn away from his replacement for the fearful images and dreams you made. The Holy Spirit understands the means you made by which you would attain what is forever unattainable. And if you offer them to him, he will employ the means you made for exile to restore your mind to where it truly is at home. From knowledge where he has been placed by God, the Holy Spirit calls to you, new phone, who dis, to let forgiveness rest upon your dreams and be restored to sanity and peace of mind. Okay, without forgiveness, will your dreams remain to terrify you? And the memory of all your Father's love will not return to signify the end of dreams has come. So what do you need to do? Accept your Father's gift. It is a call from love to love, that it be but be itself. The Holy Spirit is his gift by which the quietness of heaven is restored to God's beloved Son. Would you refuse to take the function of completing God when all he wills is that you be complete? Very nice. That was very nice indeed. So today, if we could just answer the call for love, boom, 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 boom. It's all on its way. We are on our way to being complete and completing God. How nice, how lovely. 281. 281 is what those numbers are. I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. So yesterday, it was only my thoughts that were bringing me down. It was only the stupid stories that I hear in my mind, that I listen to, that I tell myself, that I choose to follow, even though they don't feel good. So why are you following something that doesn't feel good? That should be your first indication that you're in the ego thought system. Turn around. Turn right around. Father, your Son is perfect. When I think that I am hurt in any way, it is because I have forgotten who I am and that I am as you created me. Your thoughts can only bring me happiness. If ever I am sad or hurt or ill, I have forgotten what you think and put my little meaningless ideas in place of where your thoughts belong and where they are. I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. The thoughts I think with you can only bless. The thoughts I think with you alone are true. So lesson 281, I will not hurt myself today. I will not hurt myself today, for I am far beyond all pain. And we're talking about emotional and mental pain here. My Father placed me safe in heaven, watching over me, and I would not attack the Son he loves, for what he loves is also mine to love. So I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. Whoa. So what the heck am I thinking? For lesson 281, Jesus said, yeah, what story are you telling yourself? Are you feeling down? Well, then you might want to step back and say, what story am I telling myself? Because you hurt yourself with the stories that cause suffering. And only you can inflict emotional and mental pain on yourself. Only you can believe your stories. Your beliefs manufacture feelings that don't feel good. So if you're telling yourself stories that leads to the ego thought system, and you know that that's true because you feel bad and sad and put upon and taken advantage of and depleted and suffering, those are the ego's thoughts. Those are the ego's stories. And guess what? You don't have to believe everything you think. So when those ego thoughts come in your mind, you don't have to believe everything you think because you may be projecting. So when you think so-and-so doesn't like you, observe yourself, observe your thoughts. You may be projecting. Observe, where is this thought coming from? What story am I telling? Perhaps it is you who doesn't like them, and you are projecting that out and thinking they don't like you. It's a vicious circle cycle. So don't believe everything that you think. Only you can hurt yourself with stories. So ask yourself honestly, what story am I telling myself? We could just go round and round with that one. So then tell yourself a better story. It's not hard. 1 + 1 = potato. We all know this. So if you're telling yourself stories that do not feel good, you feel bad, you feel sad, you feel like I am a doormat, I am getting taken advantage of, I'm being put upon, I'm feeling resentful, blah, blah, flicking blah. You do this to yourself. This is an ego thought system story. You don't have to believe it, but can you step back, see this banter, see this runaround, see how this is happening within you, and say, I don't have to believe this. I don't have to believe everything that I think I think. This thought got in here. Holy Spirit, please take the trash out. You know what? There I go again, telling that same stupid story. I'm going to tell a different story right now, starting with the one that I'm telling in my head, and then also practicing by what I'm telling other people, because most likely you're telling other people's stories too, aren't you? And then you're just perpetuating the ego thought system, and you're feeling bad for yourself, and it's become this humongous pity party. Everyone's invited. But we have to tell ourselves a different story. I'm totally calling myself out. Stop it. Stop telling the stories, because only you can hurt yourself. So if this story doesn't feel good, can you hand the negative, fearful, bad story over to the Holy Spirit to be taken for correction and begin to tell a different story? I mean, it's the challenge of all challenges. Let me know what you can do. Pathwaysoflight.org. Welcome to the reading. A Course in Miracles Workbook Lesson 281 Insights. I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. Thought brings experience. Joining with the thoughts of the ego brings the experience of pain, loss, and lack. That is because the ego thoughts stem from separation from the oneness of God, which in reality is all that is. Thoughts of separation from God bring the experience of being alone, loss, and death. These thoughts remain dreams because what God does not will could never be. But joining with the ego's thoughts brings the illusions of pain and death. This need not be. Joining with the thoughts of the Holy Spirit can be chosen instead. When it comes down to it, this is the only choice we ever make. The decision between thinking with the Holy Spirit or thinking with the ego. We have thought that the ego would bring a fun adventure, but behind its glossy veneer, it ultimately brings the dream experience of pain and death. When we are ready to choose again, to choose once again, the Holy Spirit is always there, waiting to help us return to the thoughts we think with God. Our willingness grows to choose with the Holy Spirit as we see from experience that choosing with Holy Spirit brings us only happiness and lasting peace. The Holy Spirit's gentleness becomes evident as our connection becomes stronger. Communication with the Holy Spirit grows and grows until there is no longer any attraction to the thoughts of the ego. The ego's thoughts are seen as meaningless and are gently laid aside. Why would we knowingly want to hurt ourselves? Why would we want to choose pain? The joy of God becomes like a magnet that heals all guilt resulting from the choice to join with the ego. The desire for the joyride that was not really a joyride is over. Returning home to God becomes the only thing we want. It is all we ask for and all that we receive. We recognize the truth that we can be hurt by nothing but our thoughts. We give up thoughts that hurt. Though the lesson says I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts, the Course makes it clear that hurt can only be experienced in illusions. In truth, we are one with God, in God. Nothing else exists. And so there is nothing real to harm us. But believing in the ego thought system means that I mistake illusions for reality. And so I will experience hurt as if it were real. The good news is that the illusion of harm will disappear the moment I choose to think with God. Since God is love and nothing else, his thoughts are love and nothing else. The thoughts I think with God must also be love and nothing else. Love can only bless, and so when I think with God, I can only experience love's blessing. With blessing comes gratitude, and gratitude motivates the desire to share. And so the cycle of love extending love to itself continues uninterrupted. As I choose to join with God's thoughts, I open my heart to experience his joy and peace. Thus I will remember I am blessed as the Son of God along with all my brothers who are that Son. Love extends no one Love excludes no one. And in its inexclusiveness, I remember my oneness with my Creator and all His creations. I remember love. pathwaysoflight.org. All right, I almost got through it without screwing up, but then I was laughing about who are that son, because like it's kind of trendy to be that bitch, but how about let's be that son, right? And I was laughing about that, and then I said love includes no one. No, love excludes no one. Whoopsie daisy. Another mistake for you guys to catch. Wow. Here's what I'm taking away from the Pathways of Light. It's all about practice. So, are you going to do this perfectly? No, hell no. No, you wouldn't even want to. You would not even want to. It's the practice that you get the learning that we're here for, and then learning will lead to knowing. But if you don't know that something doesn't feel good, then how are you going to have the free will and power to choose differently? So when you have a bad day because you told yourself a bad story and then you felt bad and then you thought bad and then you projected bad and this is also bad, it's okay. It really is. It's really okay. It's practice. You're practicing forgiveness. You're practicing choosing. You're practicing which thought system you're identifying with. So now that you know, choose differently. It's very easy, but don't condemn or make yourself feel bad for not choosing the best, the correct way, the feel-good way, the true way, the truth. It's all right. It's really no big deal. So just be aware of it and practice and practice and practice. So when I have a bad day and I'm really like believing the illusion and I'm, believing the thought system, there was a point in my life where I didn't have enough observation skills or self-awareness to know that I was being snookered by illusions. But now I don't get far on the path before I turn around. And now, even if I'm having a moment where I'm like saying something that I know is not the story that I want to be telling or thinking, I kind of am aware, even as I'm saying it, like, oh, I don't know, like, or right after, or very shortly after, I'll be like, oh, there, I did it again. Whoops, I did it again. And then you can choose different, and then you can practice. So for me, like, when I go to repeat a story, sometimes I do encourage myself to shut up, to give myself a little minute to figure things out, like in my head, before I open my mouth. So, silence is definitely an aid. Giving yourself time to contemplate, giving yourself time to ask for correction, give it over to the Holy Spirit, look at it, recognize, oh, Johnny dang, there's that story again. Do I want this one? Or is this going to hurt me? Is this story going to cause me suffering? Oh my God, this is a bad story. And then you choose again. So the power in today's lesson 281 is I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. So if you're thinking someone hates your guts, they're not even saying anything to you. They're not even here. It's just you and your thought about them in your head, in your mind. So that's crazy because you're only hurting yourself with that thought. They're not even doing anything they're not even here. So when I think that I am hurt in any way, it's because I have forgotten who I am. So I've forgotten that I am that son. You can't hurt that son. I have forgotten what God thinks. I have separated my thinking from my source. And that's the only correction that really needs be made. So if I'm thinking God's thoughts with the Holy Spirit, they are loving, they are blessing, they are love. They really just are love. So anyways, I will not hurt myself today, for I am far beyond all pain. When I think that I am that son, then I need to remember that I am placed safe in heaven. My Father is watching over me, and I would not attack the son he loves, for what he loves is also mine to love. So the person you are attacking, that you are projecting upon, you don't want to do that anymore. You don't want to attack God's son. Knowing that my projections hurt myself and that I am also God's son, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to hurt God's son. So anyways, it's definitely a different way to think about what you are projecting, what you are thinking, the thoughts you think. And if you are feeling bad, anything less than good, recognize that the hurt is solely from your thoughts, my thoughts. I can be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. Nobody can hurt my feelings but me. And then you choose, and then you decide that you don't want to do that anymore.